Oops, moved it. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Darlene, and this is Isaac. Say hi, Isaac.
Hi.
We're doing our first video for my new channel. The channel is going to be called Blue Meadow Lane, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. First of all, I'd like to start with a Bible verse. This was from my devotions this morning from Jesus Calling. It was 1 John chapter 1 verse 9, and it says, "If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness." I really enjoyed that, and I think we need to live by that and confess our sins. Just to tell you a little bit about myself first. I am a retired RN. I just retired from the community hospital here probably about 2 years ago, and I've enjoyed my retirement a lot. At first it was hard for me to get used to not doing stuff, but I am working at the local pregnancy care center a couple times a week now. I began as a volunteer, but then they hired me to I was sent for training for ultrasounds. So that's pretty cool. We get to see little babies when they're 6-7 weeks old, and the moms and dads get excited to see the heartbeat and so on. So that's rewarding. We tried at our center to help moms and dads in any way we can through a pregnancy and through not just the pregnancy but afterwards too. Moms can earn money to buy things in our boutique. Anyway, and I am also a mother to 2 boys. My youngest boy lives in Indiana with his family, and my oldest boy lives here locally with his family. I have 6 grandchildren, and Isaac is one of my grandsons, and I really enjoy spending time with my grandkids. And Isaac's been trying to help me get this YouTube channel up and going. Isaac has his own YouTube channel too. What's the name of it, Isaac?
South Hill Farmer.
South Hill Farmer. That sounds interesting. He's his mom and dad, they have about 10 acres, right?
Yeah.
And they've got numerous animals, and they are homesteaders right now. They have cows, sheep, chickens, goats, rabbits, ducks, dogs. How many sheep do you think you have?
Somewhere between 20 to 40.
They just had some babies this spring. In fact, they had 3 babies that they were bottle feeding. Now they're down to just 2, but that's fun. Watching those little babies, their little tails just wagging when they're drinking. They're just so cute. And they have to bottle feed them for different reasons. Maybe the mom didn't have milk, or maybe the mom didn't want to have anything to do with the baby. But that's always fun. And they've been bottle feeding them for a couple of months. And Isaac said you have, what, about another month to go before they'll eat and stuff on their own. They also have milk cows that their mom milks every day. They have 2 milk cows. The milk cows just gave birth not too long ago, and that's how they have milk. And that's fun. So they have their own milk, and they make their own cheese. And what else does she do with the milk?
Make soap and yogurt.
Soap. I've never had any of her milk soap. I'm gonna have to get some from her. And what else?
Yogurt.
Yogurt. I told her I wanted her to make some cottage cheese because I really like cottage cheese. I just had some this afternoon. She did say that she tried one time, but it didn't come out the best, but she's going to try it again. So they're homesteading. The kids are homeschooled. The kids help with chores every day. Because they do have so many sheep, they have to move the sheep often because they don't have them in a big pasture. They just fence them off into smaller areas and let them eat all that, then move them on to the next area. What kind of chores do you have to do every day, Isaac? What do you have to do? Like when you get up in the morning, You know you have chores to do, you and your brother and sister. What kind of things do you do?
Rabbits and chickens mostly, and then whatever else. Those
Feed
are
and
it.
water them.
Yeah.
Well, but you gather eggs.
Yeah.
They have eggs, chickens that lay eggs. So you make sure everybody's got water, which is a chore, right? Especially if they're far away from the house, far away from the well. Those cows, your dad told me the other day how much a cow can drink in a day. I think it's 25 gallons. Does that sound right? Gallons these cows drink. Of course, they're big creatures, you know. And they have, how many cows do you have on the property here? Five or six? 5 or 6 maybe? 2 calves. And a workhorse. So they're all out there drinking lots of fluid. And then they have 4 beef cows that they have on their property in southern Ohio that we'll talk about in just a little bit, that are bred, should be given birth at some point. Oh, and Isaac has some longhorns too. He has 1 longhorn.
2.
2? Really? Oh, the baby. You're counting the baby. Okay. So he bought a longhorn, and did you guys breed her, or was she bred?
She was bred.
She was bred already. So now they've got a heifer, and Isaac's not quite sure yet what he wants to do with that. Maybe sell her, maybe keep her, not really sure yet. But they've got, like I said, about 10 acres, and they wanted more because they are growing out. Oh, they got some cows out at Roy's too. Or
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, 2.
2 cows at a friend's farm. So they got cows at their farm, at another person's farm, and then cows down at the property that they have. So they're really needing and wanting to get everybody on the same property. So a couple years ago, I think maybe 2 years ago, they bought some property in southern part of Ohio, 54 acres, because it was not affordable here, around here, for what they wanted. They just couldn't afford it. But they bought an old Amish farm. There's an Amish house on the farmstead, and there's a big bank barn and a big red commercial barn, and they've got a pond. So their goal is to move down there and live. So hopefully you've heard about Shed to House. They bought at an auction one of those. Evidently a fellow was making these sheds into homes, had to get out of business, and my son bought one at an auction. So they are going to live in that small tiny house until they either renovate the Amish house or build a house. So there's going to be 5 of them living in this small tiny house. But luckily they're going to put it by the red barn, right? Red barn, the red commercial barn is huge, so they can use some of that for a lot of different things. Do you know if they have any plans on using that for anything besides, for living at all? No, I bet they will. Storage right now. Right now, when they go down for the weekend or whatever, they camp out in there. So anyway, back to this 54 acres that they bought. I am going to be moving down there with them. I've lived in the same county for 20 years, for my whole life, I'm sorry. Most of my life. As a child we moved here and there, but we always came back. And I've lived in the same house for 30 years. And every spring I kind of got that bug that I wanted to sell my house and move, just because I'm tired, and I don't know if I want to say the word bored, but stagnant maybe. So when he asked me if I wanted to move down there with him, I said, heck yeah. The only thing is, and I didn't mention this before, that there's snakes down there. A lot of snakes, and the kids make fun of me. Anyway, we'll get back to that too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build me a little house. on their property. Um, you've heard of, maybe you've heard of ADU, accessory dwelling units. And that's what a lot of folks are doing nowadays, is they're having the family come back together, and in-laws and outlaws are moving on property with the families. I'll have my own place, and it's not really close. It's not too far, but I'm going to get me a golf cart because it's going to be a little jaunt to get to their place. But and when I came across this part of the property that I'm moving my house onto, I just saw the pretty blue sky. The sky is just so pretty a lot of the times there, and there is like a meadow there, and my driveway. So I decided to call this channel Blue Meadow Lane. And it's going to be an adventure of my moving down there, building, and helping the family any way that I can with the homesteading, with chores, that type of thing. So that's my goal. I do have somebody that is going to be building, but the excavating hopefully is going to be starting soon. I need a septic tank and the foundation dug out. So I'll be bringing you along on that if we get down there. It's like 2.5 hours away, isn't it? 2.5 hour drive from here. My son's been going down a couple times a week though, because of his cows that he has there. You know, they drink lots of water, so you have to keep filling up their trough. But so this weekend I'm going to be going down, and I've been planting some plants and just trying to get in the mood for it. And like I said, I'm very excited. I've got my plans drawn up about my house, and a friend's going to build it for us, and hopefully by next spring I'll be down there. I'm not in too big a hurry because I have a granddaughter that lives with me, and she's going to be a senior in high school this year, so we kind of want to wait until she gets done with high school before we move. So I'm excited. My house is going to be different. It's a modern type home, and it's going to have like a shed type roof, which is different. So anyway, I hope you come along with us on these adventures, and I'm also a single person, so I'm going to come at you, and that maybe people will be interested in that information, that how I share. Can you guys hear the birds? We can hear the birds singing out here. This is in the backyard of my house that I have currently, but I don't know that we need music to put to the video with all the birds singing. Do you have anything you want to say, Isaac? Did I forget something that I talked about before?
We're going to get peacocks to take care of snakes.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. So the kids make fun of me because of snakes. I have dreams about snakes, and there's poisonous snakes down there. So I'm going to get me a pair of snake boots first. I don't think I told you that. But a pair of boots, and I'm going to wear them all the time. And I was doing some research about snakes, how to deter them, and it says to get peacocks. And I figured, well, since we're on a farm, why not have peacocks? My son is kind of against them a little bit because he said they're noisy. But I think maybe we've got him talked into it, because Isaac incubates his own eggs and stuff, so he asked his dad if he could get some peacock eggs. And what else?
Emu.
Emu eggs. What do we do with emu? Just for the fun of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. People pay a lot of money for those type of things. So I think he's going to allow him to try to hatch some peacock eggs. They're not cheap, but I would love to have some peacocks if they keep the snakes down. The kids make fun of me. They see snakes on their property where they are now, and they take pictures of it and they show it to me, and I'm about ready to run. So anyway, sometimes I have nightmares about that too. But yeah, so that's how we're going to get rid of snakes. Anything else? Did I forget something else? I don't think so. So hopefully you'll follow with us, and oh yeah, I'm going to be sewing too. I'm not a professional sewer. I'm a medium or advanced beginner, I would say. And I just made my first quilt, which was something I really wanted to do when I retired, was learn how to quilt, and some friends have been helping me and teaching me. And I'm going to get also a she shed. Um, I'm sure you've heard of, what do they men call it in the basements? When the men take over the basement.
Man cave.
Man cave. Okay, so there's also she sheds. So a shed, the kids and I have fun looking at the different sheds around here. And where we're at, there's a lot of Amish that build these sheds. Um, but I want it to be in the same shape as my house, and you just don't see those very often. So that's something that I'm looking forward to finding one of those. And anyway, it's going to have electricity. We're going to have heat and air in there, so that I could just, since my house is going to be smaller, I'm going to have my crafting and my sewing and knitting and crocheting and all that stuff in the she shed, and perhaps we will videotape some of that too. And I appreciate all the comments. Please like and subscribe. That helps us. And we'll see you. I'm going to plan on going down Sunday to plant some bulbs. So we'll be taping on Sunday too. So we hope to see you soon. Bye.